The Tuesday Tidings of Figaro. My name is Figaro, and I am the king of this house. Being a gray-brown tabby is a full-time job, especially on a Tuesday. The evening sun was stretching across the rug, turning my fur into toasted velvet. I stretched my paws out, one by one, and yawned so wide I could see the edge of a dream fading away. It was a perfect time for a nap, but the house hummed with a different kind of energy today. In the kitchen, the steam from the espresso machine was dancing in the air. Gulson and Levent were sitting at the table, their hands wrapped around warm mugs. They were drinking lattes, the kind with the thick, frothy foam that I am strictly forbidden from tasting. They were talking in low, happy voices, the kind of voices that mean the world is exactly as it should be. Then the door opened, and in walked Ahmet Faruk, their cousin. At 29, he is always full of stories and laughter. He sat down to join the latte circle, his eyes bright as he chatted with Gulson and Levent. I trotted over to him, weaving through his legs. He reached down to scratch that perfect spot behind my ears, and for a moment we were the best of friends in the middle of the Tuesday bustle. While the kitchen was loud and bright, I decided to check on the heart of the house. I padded down the hallway to Fatima's room. She is 24, and sitting in her wheelchair, she is like a calm sea in a world of splashing waves. Because of her cerebral palsy, her body moves in its own way, and she doesn't use words to speak, but her eyes are bright and tell a story all their own. I jumped up onto the edge of her bed, settling in where I could see her clearly. Fatima watched me with a soft, knowing smile. I purred, a low rumble that I knew she could feel through the blankets. We sat there together, the nonverbal girl and the tabby cat, sharing a secret language of stillness. She reached out a hand, and I leaned my head against her fingers, acknowledging our quiet bond. Suddenly, a high-pitched beep beep sounded from the driveway. I perked my ears up. A sleek, shiny gray Prius had pulled up to the curb. Out stepped Mary, a college student who always brings a sparkle with her. She didn't even wait to get to the porch before she started waving her arms. I could tell from her face that she wasn't just here for a Tuesday visit. She was carrying a treasure. Mary burst through the door, and Gulson was there to meet her in an instant. "Look at my new car!" Mary cried out, pointing back toward the driveway. She began to share her big news, her voice rising with every sentence. Gulson gasped and threw her arms around Mary, the two of them laughing together. The kitchen was no longer just about lattes. It was a place of pure, unfiltered celebration. Levent and Ahmet Faruk heard the commotion and came running from the kitchen. When they saw Mary and heard about her new Prius, the whole house erupted. Levent let out a great hooray, and Ahmet Faruk started clapping his hands and cheering loudly. The joy was infectious, vibrating through the floorboards and making my whiskers twitch with delight. It was the loudest, happiest Tuesday I could remember. I had drifted back into a light doze on the rug, but the sound of Mary preparing to leave woke me up completely. I darted toward the hallway, watching as Levent held the door open for her. Mary was still beaming, her car keys jingling in her hand. "Drive safe, Mary," Levent called out, his face full of pride for their friend's daughter as she stepped out into the cool air. I sat right in the doorway, my tail wrapped neatly around my paws, as we all watched Mary climb back into her gray Prius. She waved one last time before driving away into the soft Tuesday twilight. As the red taillights faded into the distance, I felt a warm hand on my back. It was just a regular evening, but with my family all together and happy, it felt like the start of something wonderful.